Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Ella, and today I'm going to be discussing my experience on the Duolingo English Test, and I'm going to be sharing some tips and tricks that I did to get the score that I wanted. So I got 145 for my overall score, and I think that's a pretty good score to get because the institution that I'm trying to get into only required 110 for the overall and yeah, for the score. Okay, so a little background about my English is that I was taught to speak, read, and write in English since elementary. However, I wasn't really that confident with my skills, especially in in speaking, because I really cannot do impromptu speech or speeches. Yeah. Okay, so my experience with the test. So I took it last September 24. I took it in a room where the router or the Wi-Fi router that we have is near. In that way, I wouldn't get interrupted while taking the test. I also took the test in a well-lit room, so I had to um, on the lights and all that. In that way, the computer could see your face clearly and could see your eyes clearly. Um, Also, if you have family members living with you, make sure to inform them beforehand that you will be taking the test because once the computer detects that you are with someone inside the room or there are external noise or like conversations with other people beside you, then your test will not be certified. So you have to be careful with that. Um, Okay, so the test for me was quite easy but quite challenging at the same time because it's a fast-paced test. So you have to be composed and you have to stay calm before taking the test and during the test. So I would suggest that do not stress too much about the test and not panic because panicking will only lead to mental block, and you don't want that to happen while you're on the test or while taking the test. Okay. Okay. For my tips and tricks, um, 3 days before taking the test, I practiced on the teacher looks DET ready videos here on YouTube. The sample tests that teacher look have is a great practice test because it's really almost the same in the um, actual test, and um, I would highly recommend for students to watch his videos before actually taking the test. In that way, you could get your desired score. Also, I did a couple of his tests for 3 days straight. So yeah, in that way, I was practiced. Okay, so the easiest part of the test would be the read aloud. Um, you have to be careful with your pronunciation though, because the computer is the one who's going to be assessing if you did um, pronounce every word that was given to you. And then for the read and select and the listen and select, you have to um, select the real English words. So I would suggest that you should not guess. You do not guess for the words. Only select the um, words that you know and you are sure of, and also to make sure that you're selecting the words that have the correct spelling. Yeah. And then the listen and type. You have to be really fast in typing, so you have to practice that. And in Teacher Luke's video, you could practice that. Um, Also check your punctuation and your spelling. Yeah. And then on the right about the photo, you have to write at least 3 sentences to get a good production score. So yeah, that's what I did, and make sure to um, write it in a correct way, like use punctuation marks and use the correct spelling. And then in the read and write, I made sure to um, write at least 115 words to get a high production score. And also make sure that there is no grammatical error. So leave at least 50 seconds for you to check your writing. So the question that I got was an argumentative type of question. Um, it's about the if I agree or disagree about the teacher's salary, um, if it should be based on the student's performance. So yeah. And then for the speaking about the photo, make sure to describe the subject matter on the photo thoroughly, and make sure to use up the time, which is about 1.5 minutes. So in that way, you get the production score. And then if after you describe the subject matter on the photo, describe the background. So yeah, that's my tip. And make sure to not use the word so much. Yeah. And then for the read and speak, it's for about 1.5 minutes as well. You have to discuss and elaborate on your answers. So for the question that I got, it's about the importance of crop in my country, and there are other 3 guide questions um, in that. So you have to make sure that you um, respond to those questions properly. Okay. And then for the listen and speak, um, you have to listen to the passage 3 times. Make sure to use those three three place privilege, because you have to remember the passage, or else you could get misled. um, i- it's hard to forget the passage, because you will it will not be shown on screen while you're speaking. So yeah. um, the question the question that I got is that what makes a friendship long lasting? So you have to make sure to elaborate on every answer that you have. Make sure to use uh, all of the time that they give you in answering those questions. And then for the speaking part, for 3 minutes, which is ungraded, I got a pretty easy question. It's about if you think that home is just an establishment or beyond it, something like that. And then for the writing, it's also for 5 minutes. Um, it's ungraded, so yeah, it does not affect your production or overall score. Okay, the hardest part on the test would be the C test, or the C type test. It's one of the challenging parts of the test, because I skipped. Okay, to be honest, I did skip quite a few, because I just didn't know the answer. I just didn't. But for my tip would be read the whole passage first before answering. So read the first and the last, and use context clues. Okay, so my general tips. So make sure to go to the Duolingo English Test website, because they do um, have a lot of tips there. Make sure to try and practice there as well. And then you should also check out each question type. It's all in the website. Okay. Also, before taking the test, I did read quite a lot of um, novels. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of novels before, even before taking the test, because it will not only help you gain knowledge, but it will also help you um, get a good comprehension in terms of and get you an extensive vocab. Yeah, I don't know how to speak again. Okay. Also, I would recommend listening to podcasts. I would recommend The Argument and The Daily. It's all on Spotify. Also, I would suggest that you read different articles about different topics. Um, it's also a good practice for your English. And then I would also suggest um, that you watch documentaries in English. I would recommend Vox, Vox, Vox on YouTube, and Vice documentaries. Yeah, in that way you're also updated with the relevant and news around the world. Um, Also, I would suggest to um, watch movies and TV series in English, and that way you also know the pronunciation of words, of English words. So, yeah, that's all. I hope that I imparted important tips and tricks regarding the tests. So, yeah, good luck with your tests. Bye.